Sales have picked up. This is the best week so far of 2025. If you want to know what sold, stay tuned.
Let me set the scene. We hustle hard, second green, living out the dream. From clothes and kicks, we got that vintage flair. You name it, we got it. All the styles you wanna wear. Started small, now we
Reselling has been crazy, up and down, and has been a struggle for probably the last like 6 weeks. Well, maybe even longer because December was a little rough. But friends, I think we have weathered the storm and sales are about to are picking up. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Stephanie and this is a what sold video. I will share with you what sold, what platform it sold on, if I and how much I made and how long I've had it. So, welcome back, reseller besties. Thanks. I always appreciate you guys for joining the video. Make sure you let me know, check in the comments. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. I've been reselling for 6.5 years now, full time. It's one of I have several things that I do, but I say I resell full time because I spend full time a lot of time at it. So let's get into what sold the week of February 9th of 2025. So this has been the best week of the year so far. So hopefully we're through that dry spell that we had. So on Sunday, we had 20 sales. It's been a long time since I've had 20 sales in a day. And I am doing some clearing out, and excuse the background noise. My daughter is having a sleepover downstairs, a slumber party for her birthday, but I've got to work on this video because it's already late. So sorry. It's been a long time since I've had 20 sales. I am doing some clearing out of older things, but and I'm just picking up some things that are more bread and butter brands that I can get for a good price at the bins that I know that people will buy for a lower price point. So starting off, this Dana Buckman zip up blazer size 4 sold for $8 on Poshmark. After the $2.95 in fees, I was left with $5.05. That had been around since October 8th of 2021. It has been purchased, returned, tried to sell it a few times on live auctions, and I'm glad it's gone. I'm only picking up Dana Buckman if the pieces are 100% linen and a larger size. Next up was this Victoria Body by Victoria bra. It was a 36 triple D. The karaoke machine's going on now downstairs. I might take a break and go play karaoke with the kids. This is a t-shirt bra, and it was a size, like I said, 36 triple D. It had been listed since December 31st of 2024. It sold for $22. After the $4.40 in fees, I paid $17.60. And I did pick that up at the Goodwill outlet. As you know, bras are pretty weightless, so it's really easy to pick those up and turn a profit on them. This next one is a don't miss. This Frank and Eileen, if you find things within this brand, it always moves for me and pretty quickly. So these Frank and Eileen Dreary Illusion pull-on pant jeans size 29. They had been listed since January 27th, so about 2 weeks. They sold for $60 on Poshmark. After the $12 in fees, I made $48. I did pick those up at a local consignment shop. So when I find things at the consignment shop, I expect to make a little bit more from them than I would at the Goodwill outlet. Next up was this Under Armour Cold Gear pullover, gray size large. It had been listed since June 7th of 24. It sold for $8. After the $2.95 in fees, I was left with $5.05. and that was also a Goodwill outlet pickup. Next up is this Bowden Mia Ottoman dress, 3 1/4 sleeve, size blue. It was a size 12. I do try to stick to the larger sizes in Bowden. It does not perform as well as it used to, so I'm kind of just going to stay with picking it up at the Goodwill outlet. I can't remember if I got this one at the outlet, or I think it was an outlet, but it's been listed since November 7th of 23. It sold for $21. After the $4.20 in fees, I was left with $16.80. Then we had these Madewell Houston pull-on crop jeans, size small. So I was really glad to move these because they're cropped, and sometimes cropped jeans can sit for a long time, and they were a pull-up and a smaller size, and I'm not really picking up small sizes as much anymore. They sold for $10 after the $2.95 in fees. I was left with $7.05, and those had been listed since July 16th of 2024. Next up, we had these Nike dry fit pullover quarter zip gray size extra large. It sold for $11 after the $2.95 in fees. I was left with $8.05. And that had been listed since October 24th. I do pick up Nike. Certain pieces move for more. This did not, but it did move pretty quickly. We're wanting to move things within 90 days, so it didn't quite happen in 90, I don't think. No, just a little shy. Next up were these Michael Kors crop jeans, white, size 12. Anytime I can move an older an older item when it's not even in season, I'm happy about that. So these were sold for $8 after the $2.95 in fees. I made $5.05, and they had been listed since June 25th of 2024. So the last three, the Madewell, the Nike, and the Michael Kors, were all bins pickups for sure. Next up, we had these Democracy Absolution blue jeans, size 18. They had been listed since December 30th of 24. They sold for $12 after the $2.95 in fees. I got $9.05. I normally can get between $9 and like 15 for those, so that kind of fell right where I expected them. And I will continue to pick up Democracy, but only in smaller sizes. Next up on Poshmark were these Cody jeans. They were a denim jean tan, size 32-30. They'd been listed since October 19th of 24. I did pick these up on my way to PoshFest. I stopped at several Goodwill outlets on the way to PoshFest, and this was one of them. And so, yeah, I'm glad they sold. Next, on Macari, we had these AG Adriana Goldschmied Protege Gray size 31 corduroy pant. So they have been around quite a while, since December 1st of 2023. And they sold for $26 after the $3.39 in fees. I was left with $22.61. Then moving on to our eBay sales, we had this Wild Fox sweatshirt size medium. It had been listed since October 29th of 2024. Wild Fox is a brand that does well. I've only found it 4 or 5 times, and I learned about it through my oldest daughter because she's in the know about everything. So I was excited to find it. The order total was $20.40. The sales tax was $160. The transaction fee was $394. The shipping label was $580, and my earnings were $906. Next up were these Lula Bee Nuitag Skort seersucker size large. I picked these up. I went to that noise is so loud. I went to a Goodwill or like a thrift store on Marco Island when I was there with my family for summer vacay this past summer. And so our order total was 31.36. The sales tax was 205. The transaction fee 584. Shipping label 531, and my earnings were 1816. Next up, we had these UGG suede ascot slippers, size 11 men's. These were a bins pickup. The order total was $27.73. Sales tax was $120. The transaction fee was $521. Shipping label $653. Earnings $14.79. UGG is a brand that has really gone down since I started reselling 6 years ago. But if I see them and they're in decent condition, I will still pick them up at the bins. Next up was this Talbot's long sleeve velour zip up jacket, size medium. It sold on eBay. It had been listed since August 8th of 24, and it was a bins pickup. The order total was $19.27. The sales tax was 73 cents. I don't know what RD means, so that is a fee. The transaction, but it was 29 cents. The transaction fee was $3.74. Shipping label was $6.25, and my earnings were $8.26 on that. And I do pick up Talbots. I'm kind of focusing on sizes large and up moving forward. Next up on eBay was this Nomadic Traders boiled wool blazer. It had been listed since June 4th of 24. Excuse me. The order total was $19.31. The sales tax was 74 cents. The transaction fee was $3.75. My shipping label was $6.57. The ad fee was 39 cents, and my earnings came to $7.83 for that. Continuing on eBay, we had this Wrangler Retro Pearl Snap Blouse, size large. I do like picking these up. I feel like they move better than other Wrangler tops, the ones with the pearl snaps for men and women. The order total was $20.89. The sales tax was $1.37. The transaction fee was $4.02. Shipping label $4.52, and earnings came to $10.98. And that had been listed. That was a bins pickup and had been listed since October 3rd. Next up on eBay were these Saint Tropez linen pullover top white, size large. It had been listed since July 7th of 24. The order total was $20.87. The sales tax was $1.43. The transaction fee was $4.02. Shipping label $4.44, and the ad fee 42 cents. And my earnings $10.56. Next up was this William Sonoma table runner. It listed within a day of having it processed. It sold within a day of being processed. We actually picked it up. I picked it up at the Goodwill outlet, and it sold on eBay and Poshmark on the same day. Normally, when that happens, we always go ahead and just let it sell on eBay and cancel the Poshmark, because eBay penalizes you for canceling because you don't have it in stock. But this new tag Williams Sonoma table runner and this blue and green tartan plaid pattern sold on it had been listed since February 2nd. But the order total was $27.61. The sales tax was $156. The transaction fee was $3.81. Our shipping label was $8.05, and our earnings were $14.19. And that was the first time I found anything with that brand, but I have been focusing on some housewares and table linens when I see those bins, those big bins, because actually it seems like everybody else avoids them. And I saw that Mackenzie Thrifts had picked up a lot of bed sheets and pillowcases, and they sold really well. So gonna give it a try. And our last sale of the day was an eBay sale. It's a Pina lightweight jacket, black size large, moisture wicking, like athletic sportswear jacket. This is a brand that I would not pick up again. The order total was $20.80. The sales tax was $122. The transaction fee was $401. Shipping label $8.78. Ad fee 42 cents, and I made $637, and that had been listed since April 28th of 23. So for our numbers for today, Poshmark $128.75, eBay $100.23, Mercari $22.61, for a grand total of $251.59 for those 20 items with an average sale price of $12.58. So Monday was a lot lighter with only 6 sales. The first was this Disney Rainbow Collection 2020 reversible blanket. It was from their Pride collection, and it had been listed since December 3rd of 25. I do like to pick up Disney items, especially if they say Disney parks, because they are specific to, they can only be purchased at the parks. And if it's even more specific and it says Disneyland or Disney World, that's even better. But this sold for $29 after the $5.80 in fees. I made $23.20, and that was a Goodwill outlet pickup. Next up were these Eloquii cropped wide leg jeans, size 18. Eloquii is a plus size brand. It doesn't go for as much as I would say Torrid does, but if I can find the items at the Goodwill outlet in good condition, I will pick them up. These sold for $12 after the $2.95 in fees. I was left with $9.05. Those had been listed since September 8th of 24. Next up were these Poshmark, these Dolce Vita Casman ankle boot, black size 8. They had been listed since May 29th of 2023, so quite a while. They sold for $15 after the $3. I was left with $12. And then moving on to our eBay sales, this UMG blue tunic long sleeve 1X. UMG is a boutique brand, and I only pick it up in plus sizes just because I feel like it's not that well known. The order total was $13.17. The sales tax was 86 cents. The transaction fee was $203. The shipping label $531, and my earnings $497. On eBay, we sold this cabbie cardigan sweater turquoise size large. It had been listed since March 21st of 2024. The order total was $14.64. Transaction fee $294. Shipping label $514. And my earnings were $656 on that. Cabbie is a brand that typically does a little bit better for me. Not really sure what happened there, but I would continue to pick it up. This next brand I'm not picking up anymore, and it is Cut Loose. This Cut Loose tunic gray size small. It had been listed since December 12th of 2022. The order total was $18.59. The sales tax was 88 cents. The transaction fee was $3.63. My shipping label was $5.21, and I profited $8.87. So our numbers for the day: Poshmark $44.25, eBay $20.40 for a grand total of $64.65 for those 6 items, with an average sale price of $10.78. Next up were these Mark Fisher ankle boots, this animal print size 4. They had been, or size 7.5, they had been listed since October 22nd of 24. They sold for 18 after the 360 in fees. 1440 was profit. Then next up was this Disney vintage like dress with embroidery. It was a size medium. It had been listed since December 13th of 2024, so about 2 months. So for $42 after the $8.40 in fees, I was left with 33.60. Then we had another LL Bean piece sell. And LL Bean is one, I just realized that this piece of hair is sticking up. So that's going to be a problem. It's going to bug me, but it's late. um, LL Bean is a one that I have just recently started picking up this year. I don't find it that much where I live, but when I see it, I go ahead and try to grab it. It tends to perform, but this one didn't do that well. This was a LL Bean long sleeve button down plaid medium. It had been listed since July 18th of 2024. It sold for $8 after the $2.95 in fees. I was left with $5.05. Then next step, our last item of the day was this Free People Moonlight Green Floral Dress. It sold for $9 after the $2.95 in fees. I was left with $6.05. And it had been listed since April 16th of 2024. I do notice with Free People, unless it's like a strappy backless like number, you're better off with the maxi dresses. But if I find Free People in the bins, I'm definitely still snatching it. So our numbers for the day: Poshmark 98.75, eBay 571 for a total of $104.46 for those 8 items, and our average sale price is at $13.06. So next up is Wednesday, February 12th. We had 10 sales, 5 on Poshmark, 5 on eBay. So we'll start with the Poshmark sales. First up was this Ridge Slim RFID wallet. This was actually free to me. I did some promotional videos for them for TikTok, and so they sent me the wallet free to do the videos with. It's not something that I was going to keep and use, so I decided to list it. It sold for $30 after the $6 in fees. I was left with $24, and I don't really remember when I listed that, but I haven't had it since very long. It's probably been listed a month. Next on Poshmark was this Opoly Nuit Tag wide leg jumpsuit, blue, size 8. Opoly is like, it's a cheaper brand, but it is a brand like that there's not like stores for. It's an online brand, so it can be kind of hip and trendy, but because it is like a catalog, like an online brand, sometimes fit isn't right, so you can often find it in the bins new at tag, and this one was new at tag. It sold for $16 after the $3.20 in fees. I made $12.80. It's not it is expensive online, I feel like, for what it is, but it's not like super duper high. That had been listed since January 17th, so just over a month. Next up were these Yves Saint Laurent platform stiletto heels, size 5. At one point, I had these priced like well over $100, but I just at this point needed to see them go. First of all, they have a few things going against them. They're a stiletto platform heel, which a lot of people don't really wear anymore, and they're a size 5. So you have to have like a foot the size of my now 12-year-old. But they had been listed since October 3rd of 2022. They sold for $17 after the fees of $340. I made $13.60 to reinvest in something better. Next up on Poshmark was this Lane Bryant ankle length capri blue, size 20. They have been listed since August 24th of 2024. I'm real skeptical with Lane Bryant pants now, um, but I would still pick them up. They sold for 13 after the 295 in fees. I was left with 1005. Next up on Poshmark was the American Eagle boot cut jeans size 12. They sold for $16 after the 320 in fees. I was left with 1280, and those had been listed since October 30th of 24. And I do tend to pick up American Eagle, especially bootcut, because I feel like bootcut is making a bit of a comeback. Moving on to eBay, we had 5 sales there. This Ever Eve long sleeve knit sweater, cream size small. Ever Eve is a brand that I don't see at the outlet that often, so when I do, I pick it up regardless of size. The order total was 32. The sales tax was $211. The transaction fee was $609. The shipping label was $621, and my earnings were $17.99. That had been listed since July 27th of 24. Next on eBay were these Levi's 720 high-rise skinny jeans, size 20 women's. So while skinnies are out, they were a plus size. So that's why I picked them up. They have been listed since October 25th of 2024. The order total was $21.12. The sales tax was 98 cents. The transaction fee was $407. Shipping label $614 and earnings $993. Then on eBay, this Lucky Brand Sweet and Straight jeans, black size 12. They had been listed for about a month, since January 17th. The order total was $34.24. The transaction fee was $634. Shipping label $824. Earnings $1966. And then next on eBay was this Luton Gray Heart Print sweat set. It had been listed since May 1st of 24. The order total was 33. The sales tax was $2. Transaction fee $613. Shipping label 10, and our final earnings $14.87. I'm back. I got sleepy and had to stop, but it's a new day and we are going to finish up this video today. So this we're starting off with Thursday, February 13th, which we had 8 sales. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, so it looks like we had 5 on Poshmark, 2 on eBay, and 1 on Depop. So let's get into it. First up were the Stephen Madden animal print heel, size 8.5. I had these since February 5th of 2023, and my guess is that they were part of my 40% off sale. I do either a 30 or 40% off at least once a week and just pick up select items. But these sold for $9 after the $2.95 in fees. I was left with 6, and those have been listed for 2 years, since February 5th of 2023. Next up was this J. Crew Park Blazer Blue, size 12. Tall. I do like picking up J. Crew blazers, and as more people are all forced back into the office, there is going to be, I have noticed a pickup in like dress blazers and dress pants in my sales. This has been listed since December 13th of 2024, and it sold for $24 after the $4.80 in fees. I was left with $19.20. Next up was this Raffaella cardigan sweater. This was a rabbit hair, mohair, like pink fluffy sweater. It gave like rainy core vibes. It had been listed since January 8th of 25, so about a month and a half. It sold for $18 after the $3.60 in fees. I was left with $14.40. So far, all of these have been bins pickups. So if the bins I have, our bins is $1.79 a pound. So we are like, if it's a pound, it's like $2 basically. But when I average it across all of my items, because some things are lighter than others, we average about $1.30 per pound or per item that we list. So next up is this Lauren Conrad maxi dress ombre size 16. This had been listed since October 30th of 2024. It sold for $16 after the $3.20 in fees. I was left with $12.80. Next up, moving on to eBay, we had this Nike sweatpant pink jogger with a swish across the front. It had been listed since August 23rd of 2024. The order total was $22.25. Transaction fee was $4.26. Shipping label $6.25 and earnings $11.74. Next up on eBay, we have these American Eagle shorts, size 36, and they are tan color. I have several of these listed. I expect these to go for more as we get into the warmer weather, but I've been listing shorts for spring and summer as we move forward. Shorts do not get a lot of profit, but they are super quick to list, so there is the trade-off there. But the order total on these was $17.51. The sales tax was $1.15. The transaction fee was $3.44. The shipping label was $6.36, and our earnings were $6.56 on those. Those had been listed since October 22nd of 24. Then on Depop, we sold this Polo Ralph Lauren iconic Oxford shirt, size 2XL. It sold for $28 after the $1.71 in fees. I was left with $26.29, and so far all bins pickups. But this one had only been listed since January 11th, and so it sold in about a month. We love that. Next up, our final sale were these Chico's So Slimming Camo Leggings size 16. They had been listed since August 14th of 2024. They sold for $11 on Poshmark after the $2.95 in fees. I was left with $8.05. Moving on to Friday. We'll back up. Let me give you the numbers. On Thursday, Poshmark $60.45 in fees. On eBay, $18.30 in fees. Depop $26.29 for a daily total of $105.04 and for 8 items, and our average sale price was $13.13. And now we will do Friday. So Friday was Valentine's Day, February 14th. And we had 11 sales today. And let's see what the breakdown was. We had 4 on Poshmark, 6 on eBay, and 1 on Depop. So it's been a slow week for Macari. No sales on Macari this week. On Poshmark, we had this Anthro Junie midi twist skirt size medium. This was a bins pickup. It has been listed since February 29th, so almost a whole year of 2024. It sold for $15 after the $3 in fees. I was left with $12. And I pick up almost all Anthro brands that I find at the bins. Anything that I just rarely find, I go ahead and pick it up. And I'm really focusing on my listings on keywords and pricing correctly, because I can price things high and they sit. That was priced way, way high, and then it just comes down with the closet clear outs. and eventually somebody bought it. Although some of these might be a holdover from Thursday for my 30% off sale. Next on Poshmark were this Torrid short sleeve knit dress 0014. So we all know that I like Torrid, but I have a love hate relationship with Torrid. So the double zeros, which are a 14, and the zeros, which are a 16, can be slow to move. I will not pick them up unless I get them from the Goodwill outlet. 1X can also be slow to move. My sweet spot with Torrid is 2 to 3X. The 4, 5, and 6X are also slow to move. Now, do I still pick them up? Yes, but in my head, I know kind of now which Torrid items are going to move the quickest. But this Torrid piece had been listed since May 13th of 2024. It sold for $10 after the $2.95 in fees. I was left with $7.05. Next up is a dress that I had sourced for myself, but it was too tight across the chest, so I decided to go ahead and list it because we are not keeping things that I cannot fit. So this was the Seesaw Cornwell Pinafore dress, size 16, and it has a beautiful ocean like motif on it. And I bought it to wear to my cruise in January, but like I said, a little too snug in the chest. It sold for $30 after the $6 in fees. I was left with 24, and that had been listed since January 20th of 2024. So after I tried it on and realized I wasn't going to be able to wear it on my cruise, went ahead and listed it. I'd probably had it since like October and November. Next up on Poshmark were these Fry leather strappy heels, size 6. So with Fry, unless I find them in the bins, I'm just going to stick with boots. There are other shoes I never get as much money for, but the boots still do pretty well. These have been listed since July 23rd of 24. They sold for $18 after the $3.60. I was left with $14.40. Then, so next on eBay was an item. I believe it was my mother-in-law's. I am hauling my house, and so trying to go through every nook and cranny, and list the things that we don't have listed or donate them just as a point of clearing up. It causes me severe stress and anxiety to have all these like piles of things around me. And so as I'm like looking at this pile of stuff over here. So I have a bag of jewelry. Where is that bag? It's probably on the dining room table right now. But I'm looking for it. I have a bag of jewelry that I believe was my mother-in-law. Some of it I've sourced, but I've started like listing those pieces. And so one of it was this vintage Mexican alpaca silver albaline pillbox. So I looked up the comps on it, and the comps are right between like 18 to like 25. So I listed it on eBay. It sold in less than a day, which lets me know I did not price it high enough. But the order total was $25.52. The sales tax was $144. The transaction fee was $364. The shipping label was $408. The ad fee was 51 cents, and then my earnings were $15.85 for something that I've had in a bag in my house for 3 years now. So yeah, one of the bracelets of hers that I listed sold same day for $45. I think I have that in last week's haul. So needless to say, I'm like going to work on getting that stuff listed. Have you ever stretched yourself like too thin? Like I work for myself, and I just feel like I've got so many irons in the fire, which I love because I love to be working on a lot of things at once. But to be honest, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, I don't know if I'm coming and going. And then I had a death in the family, so I had to leave town. And I feel like everything is going well until we have like some type of setback, like where I'm not here because I source everything. And so if I don't source things, we don't have things to list, we can't sell things. So it's a lot going on. A lot going on. That's why it's important for me to take some self care time and go on my little trips that I've been vlogging, and I have tons of videos to upload to my other YouTube channel, my travel vlog, Do Stuff with Steph. So I will link that below so you can go over there and follow me. I think I have like 35 subscribers. So I'm excited just to start a new venture that is more like fun and yeah, just and you get to see a different part of my personality because I do have one. And then also the Middle School Made Easy channel and website are on their way. I had planned to have them launched for Black History Month, have my first novel study done, but I'm still tweaking that. And I think what my problem is. This is my problem, guys. I let perfection like be the and what's that sign, like don't let good great be the enemy of good or whatever it is. Like I am just not very good at just throwing something up. And I need to I like to polish it and like keep going over it and ruminate over it. I have so many half done, partially started things that I just need to finish and get out there to you guys. I'm a mess. Forgive me. But next up on eBay is this Eloquii jumpsuit, green size 14. So Eloquii is also a plus size brand. I don't feel like it is as expensive as Torrid retail. And so the pieces do not go for as much, but when I find it, I do like to pick it up if it's in good pre-owned condition. This jumpsuit had been listed since October 18th of 24, and it sold for 20. The order total was 21.41. The sales tax was 120. The transaction fee was 4.19. The shipping label was 5.21, and my earnings were 10.81. The next on eBay was this pink Victoria's Secret hooded sweatshirt, which I don't know about this brand. I say I'm gonna be done, and then some pieces sell for more. Maybe I'll just pick it up for our low end eBay store. Um, but we had this sweatshirt. I did pick it up initially for all live auctions, and then I stopped doing live auctions, which they might come back. We'll see. Like, I really feel like I have to get some other projects done before I can bring live auctions back online because I just don't have enough time in the day and I need to prioritize reselling and sleeping. And these two people. But the order total on this sweatshirt was $13.62. The sales tax was 81. The transaction fee was 281. The shipping label 531. Ad fee 68 cents, and my earnings are 401. And then next up on eBay were these Talbot's Nude Tag shorts, floral size 2. They had been listed since August 16th of 2024. The order total for them were 23.37. The sales tax was 125. Transaction fee was 454. The shipping label came to 642, and then my earnings were 1296. And then on eBay, so we had an issue. I found this HP61 twin pack ink cartridge in the bins, and it was taped together. I did not open it. I just assumed both cartridges were in there. I felt it, and it felt like there were two, but the buyer received it. There was only one, and then her tone and her complaint was as if I was like intentionally trying to cheat her. And so I ended up, and of course I was not. So to make that situation right, I did end up refunding her $5. So after all was said and done, I only profited $3.33 off of that, which I should have listed it for more because it did sell like within a day. And in the future, when I find, and I've found toner multiple times and it always sells quickly, but in the future, if it has been opened, I'm just going to use my X-Acto knife, slice it open just to make sure all the contents are in there, and seal it back up with tape, and just include in the listing that I have checked to verify. uh, I have been at reselling for 6.5 years, so too long to be making rookie mistakes like that. But next up on eBay, we had this torrid long sleeve mini dress maroon 1X. The order total was $26.41. Sales tax was $120. Transaction fee $507. Shipping label $521. And earnings $14.95. And then our final sale for the day was on Depop, and that dress had been listed since January 8th of 2025, so just over a month to sell for that. Then on Depop, this item had only been listed since February 4th, so it sold in 10 days. This Life is Good t-shirt, blue, size large. Whenever I find these, I pick them up. They do flip pretty quickly for between $15 and $25. This one sold for $16 after the $1.25 in fees. I was left with $14.75. So our numbers for Friday: Poshmark 57.45, Depop 14.75, eBay 67.04, and then 139.24 for those 11 items with an average sale price of $12.66. So we end the week with Saturday, February 15th, and 7 sales on this day. We had 3 on Poshmark and 4 on eBay. So eBay has been performing very consistently for us. I'm really working on flipping my thinking to focus eBay first. Because Poshmark is where it kind of all started for me and reselling, I tend to really focus on Poshmark and do a lot on Poshmark. Poshmark is very easy for me, but I want to flip my thinking and make eBay be the main situation just because we do sell more on there. The fees are a little bit better and it has more of a global reach. But I will start with our Poshmark sales. And the first up is this Vera Bradley campus backpack. It has been listed since January 19th of 2024. And this was a backpack that I have been hauling my house, and I did my coat closet. We all have a coat closet. And our coat closet, we had so many coats in there that I could barely shut it. So much stuff in there. And when I started going through coats and stuff and bags and like hats and gloves, like I realized we had probably a good like 8 or 9 coats that nobody was wearing or could even fit or wanted. Pulled those all out and listed those. And then I don't know why I don't get rid of my kids' backpacks each year, but each school year they get a brand new backpack, which is probably kind of wasteful if the old one works. But I'm like, new year, new vibe, get a new backpack. So this campus backpack was one of them, and I have several other Vera Bradley backpacks listed. So if you're in need of one, go check me out. All of the platforms we sell on are listed down below. But this sold for $26. After the $5.20 in fees, I was left with $20.80. Like I said, that sold in under a month. Next up, we had this polo by Ralph Lauren, knit mock neck sweater, size medium. And this was a men's sweater. I was like a month ago, I realized that Polo by Ralph Lauren was made men's things too. For some reason, I thought I don't know. Oh no, what I realized was Lauren. I don't know what I realized. I was going to say Lauren by Ralph Lauren makes men's, which I think they do, and that's what I just realized. but I digress. So this sold for $11 after the $2.95 in fees. I made 805. That's been listed since November 29th of 2024. I have been doing closet clear out every Sunday with my winter items. So I'm reducing them by 10% each Sunday. My goal is to sell out all of winter, and then kind of start rebuilding winter in June and July when I start sourcing for the next. But I'm trying not to carry things from season to season. And I source. I'm not really sourcing winter items right now unless they are super duper special and can get more than $30. I source at the bin, so I do have to take what I can get when I can get it. But I kind of put that caveat on it for myself. Next up were these Vivia Ryan Pro Ankle Boot Gray size 9. These had been listed since January 17th, so just about less than a month. 28 days. They sold for $40 after the $8 in fees. I was left with 32. On eBay, this next item is this pink Victoria's Secret black hooded sweatshirt size extra small. I don't have the numbers because they already are returning it. They issued a refund or a return, and they said they just didn't like it. So that was the reason. So I'm waiting for that to come back, and I just didn't even include it in my numbers. Next on eBay was this Chico's Secret Stretch Velvet Applique Denim Jean, size 2.5. Moving forward, I'm only picking up 2.5 and higher in Chico's. I want those larger sizes because those are the ones that do the best for my business. And I see a lot of Chico's and J. Jill in the bins. I could build a business off of just selling those items, but I've noticed that unless it's super, super, super special, the smaller sizes just don't sell as quickly for me. But these have been listed since January 13th, so just about a month. They sold for $26.66 was the order total. The sales tax was $121. The transaction fee was $512, and the shipping label was $645, and my earnings were $13.88 on those. Next up was this Garnet Hill crop sleeve organic linen top size large. I have been picking up a lot of linen items for spring and summer. The order total for this was $23.52. The transaction fee was $4.57. The shipping label was $4.52, and my earnings were $14.43, and that had been listed since December 30th of 2024. And then our final sale of the week on eBay were these C.E. Schmidt gloves, purple, size small medium. The order total was $26.06. The sales tax was $108. The transaction fee was $4.48. The shipping label was $3.98, and my earnings were $13.52. Whenever I can find a pair of like thermal gloves by a good brand, I go at the bins, I go ahead and pick them up. They always sell. I don't think I have any gloves left in stock. And those had only been listed since January 7th. So in about a month and a week, they sold. So our numbers for today: Poshmark was $60.85. eBay was $46.86, and that brought our daily total to $107.68 for those 7 items, and our average sale price was $15.68. Our numbers for the week: we made a total after all fees, taxes, and all that, $913.59. We sold 70 items, and our average sale price was $13.05. So we've got the number of items where I want it in that 70, but the average sale price is low, and you know, it is what it is. So this has been my best week so far. probably in a long time. So I am just going to strive to keep doing what I'm doing, listing daily and, sending out offers and being reasonable, checking comms, and just working hard to sell stuff. To sell stuff. We'll see how the economy, the shift in everything and pricing impacts the secondhand market. I do notice in the 6 years when things get a little tight, people do look for the secondhand market. A la the pandemic, I did really well during the pandemic on the selling secondhand things. So we'll see what these future months hold. So that's all I've got for today. If you are still here after this long video, you are not new to this, you are true to this, and I love you so much. Be sure to comment down below how your week went. Let me know what you got for Valentine's Day. I'll tell you what I got. I don't have it with me, but I did get another charm for my Tiffany bracelet. So I have 3 on here right now. My husband did get me another one, and I am going to wear it on a chain as a necklace. So he just got me the charm, so I need to get a sterling silver chain. I went there to get it, but they had a line out the door. So that's what I got. Let me know what you got. Give me a thumbs up and do all of the things. Go check out the travel channel, and I will see you in the next one, friends. You guys are wonderful. Bye.
Queen, let me set the scene. We hustle hard, second green, living out the dream. From clothes and kicks, we got